Hey, my name is Marco Bernard and I am an illustrator. I am from Spring Valley, New York, a little town outside of New York City. When I was 15, I moved to Florida and I currently live in LA for the last 2 years, trying to make it. My favorite types of illustration are mostly things from the 90s, basically things I grew up with. So I like recreating different cartoons and kind of putting my own twist to it. What I like to do as an artist is I like to take things that you might have forgotten and put them together in a relatable way. For example, Gerald from Hey Arnold and Marge from The Simpsons, they both have the same hair. So when I think about things like that, I like to combine the two of them together. Sometimes when you're watching a show, you'd like to imagine yourself in the show. So I'd always draw pictures of myself in Hey Arnold, in The Simpsons, in Dragon Ball Z. And that's a lot of where my work stems from. It's from combining characters, creating different characters in the same style as the shows or the movies were, and just having fun with it. It's all about remembering the good old days and having fun. Sometimes I draw celebrities as well, but I like to, once again, put my own twist to it. So I drew Will Smith as the genie because he's going to be the voice actor for the genie. I've done one for Beyonce and Nala. I drew Rihanna actually, and I was inspired by her carnival piece. Some celebrities have actually contacted me based on my artwork. For example, I drew a picture of Cleo Thomas as Zero from his character Holes, and he actually commented and we actually developed a good friendship based on that picture. Something that let me know that I was like, okay, you have something here, was I was on a trip back from Florida to LA and I drew a picture of Drake and Meek Mill fighting like Street Fighter style. At that time, OVO Fest was going on, a big music festival for Drake and his rappers, and someone sends me a picture of my artwork that I drew actually behind Drake while he's performing. So he actually used my art in his slideshow during one of his songs. So it's like, you know what? People can see your artwork can be seen. Just keep going. And that's what I've been doing from then on. I chose to be an artist because as a child, I wasn't really allowed to watch a lot of television. I was mostly allowed to watch movies. So I was hooked on Disney movies even as a little kid. I remember the exact day as a 5-year-old watching The Lion King. That's when I decided I was gonna draw. I would draw in my little composition notebook. I would draw in school. I never did my work. Up until 3rd grade, I got bad grades. Not because I wasn't smart, it was just because I would draw all the time. Some artists that have inspired me are Glenn Keane, he's an animator for Disney, and Jim Lee, who is probably the greatest comic book artist ever. Recently, I actually got to meet Jim Lee. I went to Comic-Con and I was listening to him speak, and I was watching him draw on a panel. And I decided to draw along. I had my sketchbook with me. I was like, you know what, let me get some tips from the greatest. So I was drawing along and my boy actually said, hey, you should go ask him a question. I was like, you know what, I should ask him a question. So I went up and stood in line to ask him a question. I was still drawing while I was in line. I just wanted to get to speak to my favorite comic book artist. And after that, I was like, you know what, let me give him this picture because he's always giving people art. Let me give him some art. And I walked up, gave him the picture, and he's like, thanks. And I remember some lady in the crowd was like, let us see it. So he put the picture on the screen and everyone was like, whoa, like they're like, wow, this guy is actually good. And that was a push for me, because you know, kind of as an artist, you're like, oh man, should I even be doing this? There's so many good artists in the world. But if I was co-signed by Jim Lee, there's something there. Recently, I drew a picture of the Black Panther. I drew him a while back, but I wanted to see kind of my progression as an artist, so I decided to make it really, really detailed. I was actually inspired by a picture I saw from Comic-Con. If I was to give any artist some advice, I would just say, be yourself. Let the things that you like influence what you draw, because if you like it, then other people will. Thank you guys for watching the video. Make sure you click below to subscribe. And if you want to see more art, you can follow me on Instagram at Masterminds Connect, Facebook, marcobernardart, and my Snapchat, marcobernard. And yeah, if you want to see more tutorials, leave a comment below. You have a day.